Hi guys, this is Drummer Carl. So on tonight's video, I'm gonna give you my review of episode 17 of season 2 of the Big Bang Theory, season 2 of the Big Bang Theory, meeting G Smoothie and Moon Pie Rain. So here we go, guys. I love this episode because it involves all of them, all of the gang. Penny, Howard, Raj, Sheldon, and Leonard. But it's separate. It's separated. It's separated. But here's the gist of it. But here's the gist of it. The guys have been invited to attend a symposium lecture symposium in San Francisco where George Smoot, one of the top physicists in California, is going to have an amazing lecture. So the guys vote on how to get to San Fran. But at the end of the discussion of how they're going to get there, which would be a plane, which would be the easiest way to get to San Francisco, would be a plane. But Sheldon has a better idea. Why not the old school way? By train. Obviously, Raj, Howard, and Leonard are not opposed to the train to travel to San Francisco by train, but it takes longer. 10.5 hours. 10.5 hours, and as you could imagine, it's awesome, but at the same time, it's funny and horrible at the same time, because imagine how crazy Sheldon gets on a train. Imagine the crazy intensity and nuttiness of Sheldon inside a train. It's unbearable, and that's exactly what happens. All Raj, Leonard, and Howard vote for to go to San Francisco by plane, but they get overruled by Sheldon, and they and they go ahead and buy tickets for the trip to buy tickets to get to San Francisco, and maybe see the 49er state and the Gold Rush state by train. And to top this, trip off to top this in fun train ride of insanity, of Cooper insanity. Sheldon wants to show George Smoot a paper that Sheldon wrote himself, and that he saved that he saved on his flash drive. But here's the thing: tragically, tragically for Sheldon, but also funny, he forgets his flash drive, and he says, "We have to go back. We have to go back to the apartment. Like, go back to the apartment. Go back to the apartment. Then I'll get my flash drive. Then we will meet. Then we will catch up to the train in the at the San Luis Obispo. Stop. Leg stop. Leg stop of the train. We will get on the train at the San Luis Obispo, at the San Luis Obispo spot or stop, and we will go from there. but here's another thing: Sheldon did not only leave his flash drive in the apartment, but he left it in his room, and he has a. And since since the Age of Conan episode, right? In season 1 of the Big Bang Theory, guys, you know what happened. Sheldon just has one rule. Besides, no one can sit on a spot. No one is granted access to my bedroom unless I allow it. But in this case, he had no choice. He had to grant special access permission to Penny to get his flash, to send him the paper by email. But you know how crazy Sheldon is. But in a twist of funny fate, as Penny was looking for the flash drive and looking for the flash drive, Penny found some very, very touching personal letters from Sheldon's Meemaw or grandma, Meemaw Cooper, where Meemaw coined the phrase or coins the nickname for Sheldon of Moon Pie, and when Penny reads these very, very intimate, loving letters from Meemaw Cooper, Sheldon has moon pie rage all over him, and basically he yells at Penny, don't read the letters, and you know, Leonard has to basically say to Penny, I'm not sure what you're doing, but you're not saying Sheldon turned into the Undertaker, a mean and darker and evilistic and sadistic version of the Undertaker. If the Undertaker was a nerd, which he would destroy his opponents, even though he was a nerd. But anyway, Penny had to basically improvise and break an old Chinese code box. an old Chinese antique code box that Sheldon had in his room, and she she Penny, and at the end of the episode, Sheldon finally gets his the paper sent to him by Penny, and he shows it to George Smoot. Now, the other side of this episode. The other side of this episode that kind of involves Penny. That involves Penny before she went on this journey into Sheldon's room to find the flash drive and send it to him eventually by email. Penny was good, but Sheldon. When Sheldon called Penny, Penny was on her phone on another line, getting people to come and see her at a bowling alley stage at an old bowling alley stage production of Anne Frank, or the Diary of Anne Frank, which I know personally well because I love U.S. history. So anyway, that's that was the Penny thing. Now, for Leonard, besides dealing with Sheldon's craziness on a train to San Fran, Howard and Raj saw, and basically Sheldon and Leonard also saw the Hollywood actress Summer Glau, who played Sarah Connor in the Terminator TV series. So, what happened? Well, Howard and Raj got into basically they betted each other with Leonard just for a little bit if they had the guts to talk to Summer Glau. And the cool thing is that she was not in a separate train cart. She was right there with them in the same cart. So Raj asked Sheldon, where's the bar so I can get drunk and actually talk to Summer Glau. And Sheldon basically said, upstairs, like in the upper deck. Raj drank his beer bottle, and he basically did his slam dunk romantic. He was a slam dunk, funny, romantic self. As for Howard, he was hearing this, and he was getting exasperated. He was getting like exasperated to see Rod basically having a not difficult time, basically hitting it up with Summer Glau. But as luck would have it, Leonard was able to point out that to Howard that the beer that Raj was drinking was non-alcoholic. and when Howard point this is pointed this out to poor Raj, poor Raj started, he was in mid sentence of reading the whole name of the bottle and the extra information of the bottle. And when Rod saw the word non-alcoholic, he basically went. He jumped out of shock and he turned into his funny silent self. As for Howard, he tried too hard, but he was trying too hard to try to get the courage to actually but actually have a conversation with Summer Glau, which in the end it did not work out at all. And as soon as before we knew it, Leonard was like, at the last minute, Leonard was like, I should get my chance too before it's too late to get to talk to Summer Glau. But as soon as Leonard was about to say hi, my name is Leonard, he got nervous and he started to talk a lot, and before you could say hi, my name is Leonard, Summer Glau got off the train at her stop. So with that being said, guys, so poor Leonard, and at the same time, poor George Smoot, and after trying to get George Smoot to read his paper, George Smoot said, "No, thank you, Dr. Cooper." And then Sheldon said, "What a diva! What a diva! Fine, you can join me with extra as my partner in this on this paper." And then after George Smoot said, "No, thank you, Dr. Cooper. I'm not gonna read your paper." Sheldon said, "What a diva! What a diva! Can you imagine that, guys? What a diva! What a diva!" So with that being said, guys, this is how this funny train of an episode of the Big Bang Theory train of an episode of nerds of an episode of the Big Bang Theory ends. So with that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you want some more of me, more of my videos, and more of my channel, don't forget to tap that notification bell. And until we nerd again, bye. And once again, don't forget to hit that like button. And with that being said, guys, until we nerd again, bye.